What's up, y'all? It's King Combs, and right now I'm taking over my pop's Instagram.
Since Diddy's trial kicked off, King Combs has been riding hard for his father, posting, showing support, and staying silent on the serious allegations surrounding them both. But now that King is facing his own sexual assault lawsuit, and with the family's legal battle starting to overlap, rumors are flying. Word is, Diddy's doing everything he can to keep his son quiet, and it's already stirring up serious drama in the courtroom. Let's break it all down. The empire falls, from rap game king to federal case. Sean Diddy Combs, music mogul, entrepreneur, and once one of the most powerful figures in the industry, now sits behind bars awaiting a trial that could determine the rest of his life. The man who built an empire worth hundreds of millions now calls a cell at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn his home. Before we begin, I must warn you, today's content contains references to serious allegations of a disturbing nature. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. So let's break down what's really happening in what could be the most significant criminal case in music industry history. In September 2024, Sean Diddy Combs was arrested and indicted on serious federal charges, including sex trafficking by force, racketeering conspiracy, and transportation for purposes of prostitution. These aren't minor allegations. They're charges that could potentially put him behind bars for decades. Diddy has pleaded not guilty to all charges. His trial is scheduled to begin in just days, May 5th, 2025, with opening statements set for May 12th. He's been held without bail since his arrest, with multiple requests for release denied by judges citing flight risk and potential witness tampering. But what exactly is Diddy accused of? According to the federal indictment, prosecutors allege that Combs operated what they describe as a criminal enterprise spanning more than a decade. At the center of these allegations are what prosecutors call freak-offs, allegedly elaborate, drug-fueled sexual performances that Combs orchestrated and recorded. The indictment claims these weren't consensual expressions of adult sexuality, but rather coercive situations where victims were controlled through violence, intimidation, and drugs like ketamine and ecstasy. When federal agents raided Combs' properties in both Los Angeles and Miami, they reportedly seized firearms, ammunition, and, in a detail that made headlines, over 1,000 bottles of lubricant, which prosecutors directly tied to these alleged events. Since his arrest, Diddy's legal representation has evolved. One of his original attorneys, Anthony Rico, withdrew in February 2025, citing privilege-protected reasons he couldn't disclose publicly. New additions to the team include Brian Steele, an attorney known for his work on the high-profile Young Thug case, who now works alongside Mark Agnifulo and Tenny Garagos. There have also been reports that Diddy has been seeking to add a black female attorney to his team, perhaps recognizing the importance of diversity in what will likely be a highly scrutinized trial. But the federal criminal case represents only one front in Diddy's legal battle. Since November 2023, he has been hit with over 60 civil lawsuits alleging sexual misconduct spanning more than 3 decades. The flood of allegations began when Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former girlfriend of approximately 10 years, filed a lawsuit claiming trafficking and years of physical abuse throughout their relationship. Though this lawsuit was settled within days for an undisclosed amount, it appeared to open the floodgates.
The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura.
In May 2024, CNN released surveillance footage from 2016 showing Combs physically assaulting Ventura in a hotel hallway, graphic evidence that seemed to validate at least some of her claims. Combs responded with a video apology, calling his behavior inexcusable and taking full responsibility for his actions.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
Following Ventura's lawsuit and this video, dozens of additional accusers came forward. Joy Dickerson Neal alleged that in 1991, Combs drugged and raped her, then recorded the assault and shared it with others. Liza Gardner claimed Combs and singer Aaron Hall raped her and a friend after an MCA Records event in the early 1990s. Crystal McKinney, a former model, alleged Combs drugged and sexually assaulted her at his New York recording studio in 2003. April Lampros accused Combs of 4 separate incidents of sexual assault between 1995 and 2001. Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a producer who worked on Combs' album, filed a lawsuit claiming unwanted sexual advances and forced interactions with sex workers. Perhaps most disturbing are allegations involving minors. Multiple anonymous plaintiffs, both male and female, have come forward claiming they were assaulted by Combs when they were underage, some as young as 10 years old. One Jane Doe alleges Combs raped her at a house party in 2000 when she was just 13 years old. In total, over 60 individuals have filed lawsuits against Combs, with allegations spanning from 1990 to as recently as 2023. Many of these legal actions were made possible by New York's Adult Survivors Act and Gender Motivated Violence Act, which temporarily lifted the statute of limitations for survivors of sexual abuse. It's important to note that despite these numerous allegations, Combs has consistently maintained his innocence. Through his legal team, he has denied all accusations, calling the civil lawsuits money grabs and attempts to garner publicity. His attorneys have asserted that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted anyone, adult or minor, man or woman. At the time, Mark quipped,
"Would you be open to a plea bargain?"
Well, it's not up to me. It's up to Mr. Combs, and I don't see it happening.
Why?
Because he believes he's innocent. He believes he's innocent, and what's more, he believes that he needs to stand up.
So what happens next?
Also dug up her 2015 appearance on The Wendy Williams Show. Her mom, Guadalupe, reacting to a rekindled romance.
I could always see you getting back with Puffy in a little way.
Jay-Z and Beyonce employing blackmail and violence to maintain control. As of April 2025, Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges, including additional counts added in a superseding indictment in March 2025, such as forced labor and another count of sex trafficking. The fall from grace has been as dramatic as it has been swift for the man once celebrated as hip-hop royalty. The same mogul who once commanded boardrooms at major corporations and hosted lavish white parties in the Hamptons now spends his days in the confines of the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a facility with a reputation that stands in stark contrast to the luxury Diddy enjoyed for decades. MDC Brooklyn, as it's commonly known, has been described in court filings as hell on earth with dangerous, barbaric conditions. The facility has been plagued by serious issues including rampant violence and deplorable living conditions. In a cruel twist of fate for someone accustomed to mansions in Miami and Los Angeles, Diddy now navigates daily life in what former inmate Michael Cohen described as an 8 by 10 foot cell that I can assure you is disgusting, with a steel bed with a 1.5-inch mattress, no pillow. The conditions at MDC Brooklyn have become so notorious that some federal judges have refused to send certain defendants there, citing humanitarian concerns. Just months before Diddy's arrival, 2 inmates were stabbed to death within the facility, while another was speared in the spine with a makeshift ice pick. In October 2024, federal investigators conducted a sweep of the facility, seizing drugs, homemade weapons, and contraband electronic devices, a testament to the ongoing security challenges within the jail's walls. For security reasons, Diddy is housed in the Special Housing Unit, SHU, which offers additional protection but creates further constraints on an inmate's daily life. His attorney, Mark Agnifilo, confirmed this placement, noting that while it provides necessary security for a high-profile inmate, it significantly complicates trial preparation. Diddy faces highly private jet now has restricted communication with the outside world, limited to brief weekly visits and 15-minute phone calls that are subject to government monitoring. In March 2025, excerpts from a call between Diddy and Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, were leaked to the press, further demonstrating the loss of privacy that accompanies incarceration. Currently, Diddy remains incarcerated without bail at MDC Brooklyn, awaiting his trial. The case has attracted significant media attention, with over 60 civil lawsuits alleging sexual misconduct and a high-profile criminal trial looming. The defense team, originally led by Mark Agnifilo, has faced various challenges, including the internal conflicts that came to light with Rico's withdrawal. In March and April 2025, prosecutors added several charges in superseding indictments, including forced labor and an additional count of sex trafficking, bringing the total to 5 counts. Despite requests from the defense team to delay the proceedings, Judge Arun Subramanian rejected these motions, upholding the May 5, 2025 start date for the trial. As the trial date approaches, Diddy's legal in Diddy's case beyond Rico's withdrawal. In March 2025, one of Diddy's current attorneys, Tenny Geragos, made public statements about the case on a podcast, addressing many of the rumors and misconceptions surrounding the charges.
Right. Well, we've heard allegations about other
Oversaw her career, but that was not everything. Coupled with Richard's claims, authorities have also found out that on the day Diddy was sued, he had called Harper about 58 times in 4 days for reasons that are yet to be determined by officials. Based on these findings, the U.S. Magistrate Judge forced to participate in prolonged sexual acts with male commercial sex workers. Sadly, these events were not just organized by Diddy alone. They were also facilitated by high-ranking supervisors, domestic staff, that nature may indeed be happening. Let me explain. According to these reports, Sean Combs, also called Diddy, allegedly held Hampton sex parties where gay rappers and celebrities committed several shocking acts. These claims were initially made by a former drug dealer who described these gatherings as a freak show, citing how these household name rappers and celebrities engaged in sexual acts with each other. The dealer, who chose to remain anonymous, narrated how he witnessed the intimate and chaotic incident to it. Aside from being a renowned rapper and music mogul, Diddy also had some dirt on his colleagues, as well as other top names in the industry. And it is with this that he has maintained an undisputed authority. According to authorities, Diddy and his associates used their power and prestige to orchestrate sex working with Diddy. Although not many people know this, before working as Diddy's security head, Fareem Muhammad had previously worked as head of security to American pop star Michael Jackson. During the period, Muhammad was not only Diddy stand in close similarity to that of the R&B star. Are there any connections here? I guess we'll find out as the story unfolds. For now, do share your thoughts with me in the comments section. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, then be sure to click on this next card on your screen. The FBI has finally revealed some truly dark details about Diddy and the terrifying things he has been up to in his empire of sexual crimes. The once celebrated music mogul now faces serious allegations that have defined his life and his future.
The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward.
The truth about Diddy is unraveling in a way many never saw coming. So buckle up as we dive into the details of the terrifying truth behind Diddy, uncovering Diddy's dark path. Fresh updates are coming to light as over 3,285 victims contacted the authorities to narrate their ordeals at the hands of Sean Diddy Combs. Texas-based attorney Tony Busby confirmed that of the 3,285 victims, about 120 people are ready to move forward with lawsuits against the music executive, with many of them having access to evidence such as photos, texts, and videos. The allegations include facilitating sex with controlled substances, sexual abuse of minors, violent sexual assault, and these fresh allegations aren't new to the Diddy case, as physical violence and assault have been the Sean Combs trademark.
When Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs.
In March 2024, Diddy's Beverly Hills mansion was raided by federal agents because Diddy was accused of kidnapping, drugging, and coercing women into sexual acts, sometimes using guns to threaten them. The raid uncovered drugs, guns, and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil allegedly used during Diddy's wild freak-off orgy. According to an indictment made public recently, Diddy's been abusing women for over a decade, running what prosecutors call an empire of sexual crimes. The indictment shows us a disturbing truth of Diddy's actions dating back to 2008, accusing him of abusing, threatening, and manipulating women for years to satisfy his sexual urges and covering up his behavior. The charges describe how he allegedly lured women and male sex workers into drug-fueled, days-long sexual events he called freak-offs, as seen in this photo that has been circulating the media waves. One of these alleged incidents involved an attack on his former girlfriend, singer Cassie, caught on video. A major event that shed light on these freak-offs happened at Tokyo's Seventh Heaven strip club in the early 2000s. At the peak of his fame, Diddy reportedly asked topless dancer Rachel Kennedy to join him at his hotel for an after-party. Now 51 and living in Arizona, Kennedy shared her story exclusively with the Post, recalling, "We hit it off, we're talking, and he invites me and my friends back to his hotel for a party. I took the girls with me, and we went to Diddy's hotel." However, when Kennedy and her two friends arrived, there was no party, just Diddy, wearing a robe and holding a bottle of champagne, ready for something else entirely. She said, "We all knew at that point it was going to turn out to be just a party of one." Kennedy told the Post she and her friends were doing cocaine the night they were lured to Diddy's hotel under the guise of a party, though Diddy didn't partake. Little did she know she was about to be introduced to Diddy's infamous freak-offs, wild sexual events that have now landed him in hot water. She claimed that they were partying, doing coke, and that she never saw Diddy touch it. Apparently, Diddy said he only smoked weed back then. She said he even bragged about sneaking marijuana through airports without fear, mentioning she saw weed in his hotel room. Back in the day, Diddy was on top of the world, with massive hits like I'll Be Missing You and Bad Boy for Life. He wasn't just a rapper, he was a powerhouse in the music industry. He had built a brand that stretched from hip-hop to fashion and business, making himself an untouchable figure. The self-proclaimed Bad Boy for Life seemed unstoppable, but in 2024, it was a different beat entirely for him. After Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami were raided live on CNN on March 25th, Diddy's life became part of an ongoing investigation that quickly became a public nightmare for the once untouchable mogul, and it only got worse from there. On September 16th, an indictment against Diddy was made public, charging him with 3 serious counts, including sex trafficking by force. He pleaded not guilty but was denied bail, leaving him behind bars as he waits for trial. The stakes this high, his legal team is expected to keep pushing back and exploring every possible avenue to defend him. But for now, Combs remains locked up, facing an uncertain future and possible career damage. Enjoyed the video? Crave more excitement? Stay tuned by clicking on any of the cards on your screen right now for more thrilling content. See you next time.